Hi everyone, welcome to Korean Express YouTube channel. Korean grammar may look difficult at first, but once you understand its basic building blocks, learning Korean becomes much easier. And one of the most important parts of Korean grammar is particles. They tell us the role of a word in a sentence and therefore are essential for making correct Korean sentences. Now, if you're not familiar with Korean particles or don't know how they work, I have already made a separate video explaining the basics of Korean particles. So I'll leave the link in the description, so be sure to watch that first if you're new to this topic. Okay? So now in this video, we are going to learn one of the most useful Korean particles, thul. This particle is used to express plurality, but unlike English, its usage is a little different. So if you want to talk about plural nouns or plurality in Korean language, we use this particle thul. Very simple, one syllable word. So let's learn how it works and when you should use it. So first of all, we are going to see what is the Korean plural particle thul and how to use it in Korean sentences. So the Korean particle thul is a plural particle, which means it is used to make a noun plural. Very simple. Thul is directly attached to the noun without a space. Okay, so rule number one, you don't have to put a space or leave a space between the noun and the particle. And then after that, any other particle is attached to thul, depending on the role of the noun in the sentence. Okay, whether the noun is the subject or object or the topic or any other role that the noun has in the sentence, depending on that role, other particles are attached to the noun after attaching thul. Okay, so the order is very simple: noun, and then thul is attached to the noun, and then after that we attach other particle. Okay, so for example, the noun is student, 학생, students, plural, 학생들. Now when you're talking about students as the subject or the topic in the sentence, then it is 학생들은. The topic marker is attached to 학생들. 학생들은. Very simple. Similarly, friend is 친구. Friends, 친구들. And when friends are the object in a sentence, you attach the object marker to 친구들. It becomes 친구들을. 친구들을. Okay, so this is how we use the Korean plural particle in sentences. Okay, we directly attach it with the noun and then other particles are attached to it. Okay, one important thing is that thul is most naturally used with human related nouns such as people, family members, friends, teachers, students, children, other professionals, and so on. Okay, so basically you have to keep this thing in mind that thul is naturally, usually used with human-related nouns. For example, 학생들, 친구들, 선생님들, 아이들, like this. So this much is clear because it's very simple and very easy to use this particle. Now we are going to take a look at example sentences to understand how to use thul in real Korean sentences. 학생들은 도서관에서 공부하고 있어요. The students are studying in the library. Students, 학생들. Now here, students is the subject, the topic of the sentence. So it is 학생들은. Library, 도서관. To study, 공부하다. In present progressive tense, it becomes 공부하고 있어요. Studying in the library, 도서관에서 공부하고 있어요. Okay? Next. 저는 카페에서 친구들을 만났어요. I met my friends in the cafe. I is 저는, cafe is 카페. Friends, 친구들. To meet, 만나다, past tense 만났어요. Now here, friends is the object in the sentence. I is the subject, friends is the object. And therefore we have attached the object particle 을 to 친구들. 친구들을. Simple? Next, 변호사들은 너무 똑똑해요. Lawyers are very smart. Lawyers, 변호사들. Very, 너무, to be smart, 똑똑해요. Okay, so you just need to know the rule for using a particle, and then you can easily frame sentences once you know the remaining grammar part. Okay? Next, 아이들이 박물관에 갈 거예요. The children will go to the museum. Children, 아이들. Museum, 박물관. To go, 가다, future tense, 갈 거예요. So here children is the subject in the sentence. Therefore, we have attached the subject particle e to either. Okay, child is I, children either. So this is how we use the particle thir to make a noun plural. Now, when to omit thir? There are certain situations or cases when you can omit thir even though the noun is plural. We are going to see how it works. So, one important thing to remember is that you don't always have to use thir to make a noun plural. What the reason is that in Korean, the idea of plurality is often understood from the context. Okay, so the native speakers, they frequently leave thir out when it is already clear that they are talking about more than one person or thing. Okay, so in Korean language, there's not much focus on plurality. Okay, this is the opposite of English. In English, if something is plural, we specifically add s or es in the end of that noun, right? But in Korean, this is not the thing. We, while studying Korean language, usually try to omit thir whenever we are having a spoken Korean or a Korean conversation thing. All right? So it is basically understood from the context, from the situation that we are talking about plural or singular noun. Okay? So there are two common situations or cases where thir is usually omitted. So the first case is when a number or counter is already present. Okay, so if a sentence already includes a number or a counter, the quantity is already clear because of that, and therefore the noun is obviously plural, and so adding third is usually unnecessary. So it is not required to add third to a noun which is already plural because the plurality is indicated with the help of a number or a counter in the sentence. I'll share with you some example sentences to understand how it works. So first example. 학생 5명이 도서관에 올 거예요. 5 students will come to the library. Now here, the noun 학생 is plural. We are talking about multiple students, not single student. But it is mentioned the number of students is 5. 학생 5명이. 명 is the Korean counter for counting people. So this is clear that we are talking about 5 students and therefore we do not attach till to 학생. 학생들, it seems unnecessary, right? Because we've already mentioned the specific number of students. Okay, I hope you understand this now. So this is very logical. Once you know the exact number, then there's no need to attach till to the noun. Next example. 저는 어제 초콜릿 3개를 샀어요. I bought 3 chocolates yesterday. So here, 3 chocolates, 초콜릿 3개를. The number of chocolates is precisely mentioned in the sentence. So we do not attach till to the noun. Next, 저는 작년에 책 7권을 읽었어요. I read 7 books last year. So here, the number of books is mentioned, is clear. 책 7권을. 권 is the counter for counting books. Okay? So we do not attach the particle till to the noun because the plurality is already clear with the help of the number and the counter present in the sentence. Okay? So here, 5명, 3개, and 7권 already tell us that there is more than one, so till is normally omitted. Next comes case number 2 when using quantifiers. So you usually omit till when the sentence already contains a quantifier. What is a quantifier? A word that expresses quantity, such as many, a few, or several, or some. So whenever there is a quantifier present in the sentence, we omit till. For example, 많다, which is an adjective, it means to be many. Its modifier form is 많은, which also means many. And its adverb form is 많이, which means a lot. Similarly, we have 몇, which means some or a few. So these words, you can see they already indicate plurality. So adding till is generally unnecessary whenever we are using such quantifiers in a sentence. For example, look at this sentence. 저 식당에 사람이 많아요. There are many people at that restaurant. So here, there is no need to attach till to 사람, 사람들이. There is no need because we have already mentioned that there are many people with the help of the adjective 많아요. Okay? So you can notice that the presence of quantifier can help you omit till from the sentence. Next, 몇 학생이 도서관에서 공부하고 있어요. A few students are studying in the library. So here, the presence of 몇, it specifies that there are a few students. There is no need to say 학생들. Simple? Next, 저는 책을 많이 읽어요. I read a lot of books. We have already mentioned 많이, so there is no need to use 들 with 책. 책들. No, there is no need. So basically, in all of these examples, the meaning is already plural, so 들 is usually left out. So the two cases where we can omit 들 are one, when number or counter is mentioned in the sentence, or case number 2, when you're using quantifiers in a sentence. Okay? Now, a very important note about till is that sometimes till is attached to an adverb or even an entire phrase instead of a noun. This happens when you omit the subject from the sentence. Okay? So basically, there is another way you can use till in a sentence by attaching it to either an adverb or a phrase or even a whole sentence sometimes. So when you do this, when you omit the subject, in this case, till does not make the adverb or the phrase plural. Instead, it shows that the omitted subject is plural. Okay, and this happens because Korean often leave out the subject when it is already understood from the context. Okay, so by this time, I hope you should know this, that whenever we talk in Korean language, we have a conversation in Korean language, then we usually omit the subject most of the time because it is understood from the context. Okay, in every sentence, you are not going to say 저는, 저는, 저는. No, you mention that you're talking about yourself and then you omit the subject. I hope you understand this. So, because of that reason, when we have sentences that include third, a plural subject, we usually omit the subject sometimes. Okay, and instead we attach third to the adverb or the phrase. I know this sounds confusing, but don't worry, we are going to take a look at some example sentences to understand how this works. So first of all, let's talk about this example. 빨리들 먹어요. Everyone eat quickly, or you guys eat quickly, or you all eat quickly. Okay, so basically here third is attached to the adverb 빨리. 빨리 means quickly. And it tells us that the command is directed to multiple people. Okay, I hope you get this. So if you want to imagine what the full sentence would be, then it would be something like this. 여러분, 빨리 먹어요. Everyone eat quickly, or you guys eat quickly. The meaning is same, the English translation is same. But here I have specifically mentioned the subject. So since 여러분 is omitted in this sentence, third lets us know that the hidden subject is plural. Okay, this was what I meant earlier, that we usually omit the subject and attach third to the adverb. Okay, and it is easily understood that we are talking about multiple people. The subject is plural. Okay, next example. 집에 일찍들 오세요. Everyone come home early. Here, third is attached to ilchik. Ilchik means early. But it actually indicates that the omitted subject refers to more than one person. So here we are talking about multiple people and asking them to come home early. 일찍들. Okay? Next example. 맛있게들 드세요. Everyone enjoy your meal. This is a very common sentence when you are in a restaurant setting. Okay? So here, third is attached to the phrase 맛있게, which means deliciously or enjoyably, in eating food in a very savory way, delicious way. You should enjoy your meal. Okay? In that case, we use 맛있게. Not because the phrase is plural, but because the omitted subject is plural. Okay? So therefore, we have attached third to 맛있게. Here we are emphasizing that the subject is plural. Okay? So what I want to say is that whenever third is attached to an adverb or a phrase, it is not pluralizing that word. Instead, it indicates that the speaker is addressing or referring to multiple people, even though the subject has been omitted. Okay? So I hope you understand that the adverb or the phrase, they are not plural. Instead, the subject is plural. Okay? So this is how we use the Korean plural particle third. Although it sounds very simple, and believe me, its usage is also simple, but still there are some points, there are some concepts that we need to learn to understand this particle more clearly. And therefore, I have tried to include everything that I could in this video about this Korean particle. So I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Korean Express YouTube channel. Thank you.